Question 1 says, the ratio of fruit punch to Sprite used to make fizzy fruit punch is 3:2. I'm going to underline key information to start. Fruit punch to Sprite is 3:2. A. Complete the table to show the relationship between Sprite and fruit punch used to make fizzy fruit punch. Well, right off the bat, I know a ratio of 3:2. It can always be helpful to write that down just to keep myself straight of what I'm talking about. 3 is the amount of fruit punch, and for every 3 fruit punch, I have 2 Sprite. In my table, I see 3 fruit punch, and so I know that for those 3 fruit punch, I'll need 2 Sprite. Now, that also means that if I add 3 more fruit punch, to keep the ratio the same, I need to add 2 more Sprite for a total of 4 Sprite. I can see that I'm counting by 3s on the left side of the table and 2s on the right. So I'll go 6, 8, 10. But of course, the first row of the table is an exception because I'm not counting by 3s. I have 1 cup of fruit punch. What we can do is we can identify the pattern in the table, or how we're moving from fruit punch to Sprite. I know that whatever I'm multiplying 3 by to get 2 will have to stay the same for every row of the table, because each entry is an equivalent ratio. To find out 3 times something equals 2, I want to use my inverse operation. 3 times something is 2. I can divide 2 by 3, which is of course just 2/3 written as a fraction. I know that 3 times 2/3 is 2, 6 times 2/3 is 4, 9 times 2/3 is 6, and so on. Since this is the pattern that we're following throughout the table, I know that I can also multiply 1 times 2/3 for 2/3 cup of Sprite for 1 cup of fruit punch. In any ratio table, every ratio is equivalent. So if you're ever uncomfortable with this part, maybe the numbers feel tricky, you could also set up an equivalent ratio. For example, you could say, I know the ratio of fruit punch to Sprite is 3:2. I know that I have 1 cup of fruit punch. Since I divided 3 by 3 to get 1, I need to do the same thing to the other side to find my missing number. 2 divided by 3, which again is 2/3. The same answer we got using the first method. It is important to be able to see the pattern to answer question B. Write an equation to show the relationship between cups of Sprite and cups of fruit punch. I can see in my table that I'm always multiplying cups of fruit punch times 2/3 to tell me the amount of Sprite. And so the way I write the equation is 2/3 times the amount of fruit punch F is equal to the number of cups of Sprite. That makes question C much easier. If Jessie uses 27 cups of fruit punch for a school dance, how much Sprite should she use? We know from our equation 2/3 times F equals S, which again, I got from the table, multiplying all the fruit punches times 2/3 to get the amount of Sprite, that we can always multiply 2/3 times the amount of fruit punch. In this case, it's 27. 2/3 times 27, we multiply the whole number times the numerator, and 2 times 27 is equal to 54. 54 divided by 3. 54 divided by 3 is again, 54 divided by 3 is 18. And so we know we need 18 cups of Sprite.